Oh, yeah. Five-star. LSU. I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up. Hey, 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 way down in the back.
TA, we are live. And man, does it feel good to be back. What a time to do an episode, Zach. My, oh my. Man, there's so much to talk about. And so, I mean, Zach, obviously we're going to discuss LSU's transfer portal haul thus far. I mean, man, what an effort by Lane Kiffin and the staff. We'll get into the details of all of it. So, man, baseball is quickly approaching, Zach. I mean, it's literally like a month away. I can't even believe we're saying that. Baseball is a month away. Next month, this time, we'll be looking at baseball head on. And we'll give you a quick hoops update as well, a little recap, some great news and some not so great news on the basketball front. We'll cover all those things, but the bulk of our time will obviously be spent speaking about, the hottest news around LSU. Obviously, Lane Kiffin and the job this staff has done in the transfer portal. But before we get to all that, thanks, guys, for the patience. Zach and I went through the holidays and all the holiday schedule and youth trips and events. Zach, it's actually still not done. We have a youth event this weekend that we're trying to pull off. So the calendar never stops. The calendar never stops. It keeps rolling. But Zach, so thankful to be back in the show. And man, it's a great time to be doing an episode. It really is. We are a day removed from landing the number one player in the transfer portal, quarterback from Arizona State, Sam Leavitt. Zach, the last time you got a quarterback from Arizona State, it worked out pretty stinking well. It worked out pretty stinking well. Just a little bit, Heisman Trophy winner, second pick overall in the draft, rookie of the year, golly, I'm through the moon, Zach, obviously about that. You have now what you've been waiting for with this transfer portal class, what LSU fans have been looking for. You now have it in Sam Leavitt. So, I just am totally over the moon with this staff and their effort in the transfer portal. And so obviously we need to discuss that. Like Zach will be in shortly. Has to take care of something real quick, but he'll be right back in. Man, I was looking at the class today, and it just. Obviously you knew going into this that you were going to be adding, almost an entirely new offense in the transfer portal, and you really have done that. LSU thus far has added 9 wide receivers in the transfer portal, and when people see that, you're kind of blown away by that. But when you do some digging, Zach, it makes a lot of sense as to why this happened. Number one, Kyle Parker, Teron Francis, Kylan Billiot, Jelani Watkins, all those guys hit the portal. That's 4. That's 4 that hit the portal. You're losing Aaron Anderson. You're losing Barry Brown. You're losing Barry and Brown, Aaron Anderson, Xavier
Chris
Thomas,
Hilton.
and Chris Hilton. That's 8. That's 8. So you've just replaced what you lost. And everyone really expected Nick Anderson to hit the portal as well. Surprisingly, it has not hit the portal yet, which is awesome. I mean, I think Nick Anderson could be an absolute freak show in Lane Kiffin's offense. So I'm actually really excited about that. But had he had hit the portal as well, you're talking about just recouping the numbers that you lost, right? So LSU had to go out and add a ton of receivers, and they did just that. You've replaced what you've lost. You lost 8. You've brought in 9. I mean, there could be maybe 1 or 2 more that maybe you lose, but I think it's kind of winding down. I'm really curious, Zach. Nick Anderson has not been announced as a returnee yet. So,
true. But we're in the dead period, though.
Yes, but I'm saying, like, you've had LSU announce a lot of players return. And Nick Anderson was one everyone kind of thought, okay, he came here, it was a bad year, coach got fired. Maybe he goes, okay, this one didn't work out, we go on to the next one. But has not entered his name in the portal, but also has not been announced officially by LSU as returning. So that's something to keep an eye on. But either way, the point still remains. You may be looking at this portal class and going, holy cow, we've pumped the brakes with the receivers. Actually, no, you needed all of these, right? Like you're literally recouping what you've lost. And Zach, another thing that did surprise me was the new running back commit today. That one did surprise me. I thought they had kind of wrapped things up. They added Racing Gilroy. They added Rod Gainey. You were thinking, okay, these are both guys that have multiple years of eligibility left. They're freshmen. They're young. These are depth pieces. You re-sign Harlem Berry. You re-sign Caden Durham, which was an awesome get for the Tigers. He entered the portal. You nail him and get him back after a meeting with Kevin Smith and family. And you're going, okay, you got 4 solid scholarship backs. You were thinking maybe they were done. No, they add Dylan today, the Wisconsin back, who, again, has multiple years, 3 years of eligibility left. So 5 running backs, 9 wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks, Zach, thus far. And you're probably going to add another one. So you are totally remaking. I mean, you added Malachi Thomas in the transfer portal from the tight end. So you added that's another one. So quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end, and of course your offensive line as well. You're remaking it. Carius Kern, Tyree Adams, Ori Williams, DJ Chester, all gone. Josh Thompson out of eligibility. So you're going to have to remake this offensive line as well, and they're working on that too. You've brought in Paul Bumbinga and Cohen Eccles. I forgot about them as well. So you lost 6 offensive linemen to the transfer portal, which, well, you lost more than that. I forgot about there's Tyler Miller, Ethan. You lost a bunch. Carius Kern, all those guys. You lost a ton across this thing. And I'm not entirely upset with that, though. I'm not entirely upset with LSU, remaking the offensive line room. It was not good. Flat, not good. It was not good this year, so I understand. So thus far, they've added, Darren Stray is probably the biggest name that you've added. The Zach, big old boy from Kentucky, 6'7", 322 pounds, massive individual. He's going to be a guy probably competing for one of your tackle positions. You added a couple. You added a JUCO guy in Jacoby Jones. You added the FCS player in Jaquan Sprinkle. That I think this staff is pretty high on Jaquan Sprinkle. I think Jaquan Sprinkle is actually a guy who could compete for one of these guard positions. And then they added William Satterwhite from Tennessee, who has been the backup center there. I think they think he could also compete for one of the guard positions. So I think there's still some more work to be done on the offensive line, and I would not be surprised if in the next couple of days you saw some more additions on the offensive line. Not quite done there yet. But, Zach, I think more importantly, you saw the retainment of Braylon Moore. So the offensive line was not good, right, as a whole this year. However, I think the one bright spot on the offensive line was Braylon Moore. Now, a lot of LSU fans, I don't think we're over the moon about the re-signing of Weston Davis. I mean, listen, I am not going to sit here and pick on a player or single him out. I think it's just objective fact that Weston Davis struggled this year. I don't think I think he would admit that as well. However, as much as he struggled and as much as we bemoaned what we were watching when you felt like you had something more in Carius Kern, and Weston Davis was a top 50 player in the nation coming out of high school, a very, very highly recruited offensive lineman out of high school who also played basketball. So he's kind of a big-time athlete, was a big-time basketball player in high school as well. Zach, I think this staff retained him for a reason. For obviously, you just need bodies, number one. Number two, maybe they think they can do something more with him. New staff, new offensive line coach, all those things. Maybe they feel like they can work with him and get the potential that the country saw in him. I mean, Zach, he's not a top 50 recruit for no reason. So we'll see on that. But it was great, Zach, I think, to see Braylon Moore come back. That's huge. Zach, a couple things to watch, I think, in terms of the offensive line, more additions. Devin Harper from Ole Miss is a kid out of Shreveport, Louisiana, who at one time was committed to the LSU Tigers. Late flip in his recruitment to Ole Miss. Now, the staff that brought him to Ole Miss is now at LSU, his home state flagship school. You kind of think with him hitting the portal that LSU is a likely landing choice for him. You'd love to see it. You'd love to see it. I certainly would. I'd be thrilled about it because I think Devin Harper could compete for one of these guard positions, maybe a tackle position as well. So watch that as well. If you want to talk about a big-time pull, Zach, on the offensive line, big-time tool. And I mean, this would be, everybody wants a quarterback, obviously. But if we were to land this guy, it would be just as significant as landing Sam Leavitt. It would not have the social media grab as Sam Leavitt because he's the number one quarterback in the transfer portal, big-time money. But I'm telling you right now, if you were to land Jordan Seaton from Colorado, the 5-star plus recruit coming out of high school, he's had a few years of experience now at Colorado. I mean, literally probably next year going to be a round one pick. If you were to land Jordan Seaton, it would be massive. He is a top 5 player in the portal. Top 5. And, man, LSU needs, a solidified, bona fide left tackle. And, buddy, Jordan Seaton is every bit of that. If you were to add Jordan Seaton and Devin Harper, I would feel much, much better about where the offensive line stands right now. Zach, I want to get to your thoughts. Those are kind of my general observations of the portal. I haven't talked much about the defensive side, so maybe I'll let you touch on the defensive side as well. Unsurprising, not as many left because you kept your defensive staff, which we're thrilled about. I'm over the moon that Blake Baker and this defensive staff is back. Corey Raymond's back, and you retained the majority of your top tier players. And you've brought in an amazing portal class defensively. Maybe you're not done. So, Zach, your thoughts on the portal and the way it's played out so far, maybe touch on the defensive side of the ball and those players as well.
Well, first off, I got to say, your boy got some new drip over the holidays. Okay.
Well, TA drip.
Rocking the TA trucker snapback. Okay. All right. I got, this is for the fans here, all right. We got the Louisiana State University sweater, perfect time of the year with the Tigers Avenue on the back.
Nice. Nice.
Look, y'all about to make me stand in my seat. We got the Tigers Avenue joggers going on, and I won't show y'all my feet. I won't show y'all my feet because this isn't that type of content. But TA socks on as well. So and if you haven't noticed, your boy's in a new office. Your boy's got a new office.
He is.
Had to make way for the baby girl, which, by the way, less than a month away from baby Genesis entering into the world. So y'all pray for happy and healthy mom and babe. Baby, here's coming here soon into the Lee home, one of the many Lee homes.
Yes.
So, anyways, to get back on topic, because I know that's what people they came here for. They came here to hear about LSU football in the portal. As you were talking about all the offensive guys, immediately mine was like, yeah, I got to mention the defensive side of the ball because
definitely
LSU on the defensive side of the ball in the transfer portal, I think, is going to end up, when it's all said and done at the end of next year, hitting on all, if not many of these guys. All right. Or many, if not all of these guys. But my biggest, yay, glad we got this guy is Ty Benefield.
Absolutely.
Number one safety in the portal.
Absolutely.
4-star, real close, close to a 5-star guy, but 4-star guy out of Boise State. And I think this is big. You lose AJ Halsey. Obviously, he'll be entering the draft. And so you needed another big-time safety. And, look, I'm really high on Deshaun Spears, but I think he's still got to go out and prove it, right? And I'm high on Tamarcus Cooley. Cooley had some ups and downs throughout the season. I think mostly a hit from this past year.
Oh, definitely.
And you're glad to get that guy back and glad to have Deshaun Spears. But Ty Benefield adds some extreme experience. And, you could argue, if not, just go ahead and outright say that he's going to be the best safety in the room. So really excited about Ty Benefield. I think adding him just really strengthens your safety room, because what happens if Tamarcus Cooley goes down? What happens if Deshaun Spears goes down and you had not signed him? You're going to a really young guy with not a lot of experience. Right now, you got Ty Benefield in there, and if Ty Benefield goes down, you can go to a guy who's going to have experience. Because obviously, I know there's different schemes and different formations, right, where you can have all three of those guys out there. But obviously, with Ty Benefield is going to have a spot, right? I don't think Ty Benefield is coming to LSU to sit the bench. Expected starter for next year at safety. Who wins out opposite of him, we'll find out. Jordan Ross, you needed edge guys, right? Patrick Payton, gone. Pyburn, gone. Jamari Butler, gone, right? And those were your impact guys last year, right? And even though you had those guys and they were big names in the portal last year, you didn't do a great job of getting home this year. You played great defensively. You played great defensively, but that was because you were really good on the back end. You were really good up the middle, right? With your safety play, your linebackers, and your defensive tackles, but edge just didn't get home as much as
right.
you expected to this season.
Yep.
And so you needed to go land some big time edge guys, and you did that. Jordan Ross out of Tennessee. You also let's see, who was the other guy I'm going blank on? Reagan.
There's two more.
Jalen Brown.
Yeah, Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown out of South.
And AG from South Alabama.
That's right. So to get two guys from the SEC, one in South Carolina, obviously following his coach Lucas Sterling from last year, and then the big one being Jordan Ross. I know a lot of guys wanted Chaz Coleman. From what I'd heard and from listening to different things, it sounds like the staff was kind of like Jordan Ross, Chaz Coleman, like 1A, 1B. Like if we get either one of these guys, we're satisfied. Like they almost saw them as equal. Like we just want to get one of these guys. If you get both, great, but let's land one of them at the very least. You got Jordan Ross, right? As far as the staff evaluation, they really saw Jordan Ross and Chaz Coleman as almost equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got a guy in Jordan Ross. I know Chaz Coleman's been competing in the Big Ten, right? And the Big Ten is the Big Ten. It's great football. You're playing great teams. Jordan Ross is in the SEC playing great teams. So either way, you're getting a good player. You got Jordan Ross. Yep. So I think those guys are going to be contributors. I think Jordan Ross.
No doubt.
Yeah. And the kid from Jalen Brown, I think they're going to be contributors for LSU. And so super pumped about that. Like, yes, you haven't signed a whole lot of guys as far as defensively. You've only signed, 8 guys?
Right.
But you have signed some really high caliber guys out of those 7, right?
Yeah.
So, we talked about Jordan Ross, talked about Ty Benefield. You also got Steph Green from Clemson. Ironically, he's going to be playing his former team in the first game of the season in Baton Rouge.
Right. That was a big one.
I think that's a big commit. You got Don McKinley, but Bernard Gooden's gone, right? You lost some other guys. Buddy Mathis went into the portal, right? Obviously, Jacobian Guillory is gone, right, out of eligibility. So you also needed some help along the line, and you did that with getting Steph Green, and you did that with getting Jalen Brown and Jordan Ross, right? So you also got Malik Blockton from Auburn. So you shored up a lot of the needs on defense, right? That was the biggest thing, but you didn't just shore them up with anybody, right? Now on offense, you've seen like high-level guys, experience, veteran guys that have played a lot of football, have a high ceiling talent-wise, but then you've also seen, some guys that, lower ceiling, coming out of a lower tier school, not as high of a ranking, right? And guys with many years of eligibility. With the defense, it's been kind of the opposite. It's been fill needs, but fill them with really extremely talented players that are going to be immediate contributors. Because a lot of these guys on offense, let's just be honest, not all these guys that you got out of the portal offensively are going to be key contributors.
You're trying to fill your roster in.
Yeah. Exactly. They're just filling roster needs, right? On the defense side of the ball, though, you filled roster needs, but you filled roster needs with guys that can be immediate impact players and that can be starters for you. Jalen Brown, Jordan Ross, those guys can be starters for you next year. Steph Green, he can be a starter for you next year. Ty Benefield, he can be a starter for you next year. So I think it's big. I think it's big what LSU did defensively, and obviously the focus has been on Sam Levitt, and the focus has been on the wide receivers, and the focus has been on finding offensive linemen. But when you consider what you got defensively, I think these are going to be hits. I really do.
Plus, with what you've retained. They
exactly.
Did an awesome job of retaining.
Being able to retain DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland and get Whit Weeks back for another year, right? And to be able to get Deshaun Spears back after there was that 1 hour scare on New Year's Eve night that he might be leaving, right? That was very short lived. I think, Reagan, is that like the shortest?
Maybe
I'm going to enter the transfer portal announcement ever. Like and then Jinx just kidding, coming back.
And then a couple days later, you added Ty Benefield, and you were like, man, that felt great.
Yeah. So defensively, Reagan, I think LSU did a phenomenal job.
Awesome job. And they
And look, I want to say this too, Reagan, to talk about offense, to go back to, I know you talked a lot about offense, but I don't know if you mentioned Landon Clark. You might have. I was trying to get my internet. I was trying to get my internet fixed here while you were going through the offense.
I mentioned that we added 2 quarterbacks, but
correct.
I honestly haven't talked a lot about Sam or Landon. So
I mean, Sam, we can talk about that, but I'm going to be honest with you, Reagan. I've watched Landon Clark's highlights. I followed him on his socials and everything. Been looking through some stuff, and I'm really excited about Landon Clark. I know that's a guy that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, he came to be a backup. And yes, like he's coming to be a backup, but I think this is a guy who is going to work extremely hard to compete and push the guys in front of him. And I think
got 3 years left.
He's got 3 years left. And I you got to trust Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss to develop this guy. And I understand some people are saying, well, this is Lane Kiffin's next Trinidad Chambliss. Maybe it is, or maybe it's not, right? But do you trust the I'm going blank, Reagan. What's the word I'm looking for? Not the examination. Oh my gosh.
Evaluation.
Thank you. Do you trust the evaluation of Lane Kiffin and Charlie Watts and Billy Glasscock? Do you trust those guys, right? If they can go find some kid on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you found them, to come and be a part of your system and become an elite college football quarterback that is leading Ole Miss through a college football playoff, right? Beating Tulane, beating Georgia, and coming to the very end of the game, leading very, very late in the game against Miami, right?
Yep.
And I mean, Ole Miss offense, it felt like the whole year with Trinidad Chambliss, like 30 points was like just a given. Like 30 points is nothing for this team. So to be able to do that with Trinidad Chambliss, can they do that with Landon Clark? I don't know. But do you trust the evaluation? I do, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, Reagan, there's the big question around Sam Levitt's, Liz Frank injury, right?
Yep.
So you got to be able to have a guy that you trust to run the offense right behind him, just in case Sam Levitt in this injury delays him a little bit, or it gets re-aggravated or whatever the case may be. You got to be ready. And last year I talked a lot preseason about Michael Van Buren, and people didn't want to hear that because they're like, well, Garrett Nussmeier's the guy. But as we had mentioned in our preseason, some of our preseason podcasts, every single year for the last 4 years, was it, Reagan? LSU had to bring in the backup quarterback at some point due to an injury, right?
Yep.
And guess what? You did the exact same thing this past year. Garrett Nussmeier was dealing with his injuries, and Michael Van Buren had to come in and play. And so hopefully, that's not the case. Hopefully Sam Levitt gets healthy right through spring, and he's able to participate in most of fall ball and get ready and get prepared and learn this offense and be ready to go by the time Clemson comes into town. But you also got to be able to trust that this staff can get Landon Clark ready. And so I know that's a long conversation about Landon Clark, but I think fans need to be aware of him. And obviously they've been made aware of him, but I think fans need to realize that there's some potential there with Landon Clark. So and I got to be honest with you, Reagan. I was surprised also that that LSU went and got as many running backs as they did with Racing Guillory and Rod Gainey and the one today. Reagan, help me out.
I think it's Dylan Jones, I believe is what it is, or Dylan James.
Kid from Stanford, right?
Wisconsin.
All right. I know it was one of those red and white teams. The kid from Wisconsin. So I was a little bit surprised to see all those running backs, especially because you retained Caden Durham and Harlan Berry. So now you got Harlan Berry.
You have 5 scholarship running backs.
Yeah, you got 5 scholarship running backs, which is just crazy. But
this is, this has been pretty par for the course for Lane Kiffin. I'm watching from afar, And by the way, I don't think we're done at quarterback. I think we're going to add a third quarterback, whether that's Hussein Longstreet or whether that's Ryan Staub, the Colorado quarterback who's coming in for a visit later on this week. Lane has depth. He always has. He's always added a bunch of running backs. He's always added a bunch of receivers. He's always – I mean, Zach, do you remember the year when Ole Miss signed Jackson Dart, Walker Howard, and Spencer Sanders in the same portal cycle?
Yeah, well, speaking of Walker Howard,
Speaking of Walker Howard, he's back in the portal.
Yeah, and interested in LSU and Ole Miss, ironically.
There you go. Yeah, shocker. So, anyways, he like this is kind of what he does. But you needed this. You needed to fill out these rooms, and you think of Rod Gainey, and again, maybe they can come in here, compete, and earn more playing time. But realistically, you look at this running back room, you look at this quarterback room, and you're looking at the wide receiver room, and you're thinking, okay, these guys are going to contribute. But something of note with this portal class is Lane Kiffin has had a bunch of guys that have a bunch of years left, 2, 3, 4 years left of eligibility. Whereas last year, man, you brought in an awesome portal class. I mean, literally the number one portal class in the nation, but it was a ton of one-year guys. And so now you're having to replace them again. You're having to replace all those guys, and you're having to replace portal attrition, right? So this is necessary. I think of the running back room, Rod Gainey, Rayson Gilroy, Dylan J. All of them have 3 years left. Well, Gilroy has 4 years left. So, you're looking at those guys of going, okay, that's your depth pieces, and you're probably thinking that Barry, Durham, and Dylan Jones are your featured backs, namely Barry, Durham, and then Gainey, Gilroy are going to be guys who are growing and who can get some reps here and there. So you can think about that across the board with these position groups. I'm not going to go through all 9 receivers. I think you can know which ones are probably going to contribute the most this upcoming year.
Trey Wilson, Chase Brown, Winston Watkins, Trey Brown, Jackson Ayers.
Exactly. That's probably going to be your 5 guys. Right,
your other 4 guys will probably be, guys that are in waiting.
Yes. So I love what Lane has done because it is smart. You're not going to have to, go and replace a bunch of one-year mercenaries next year. You've got guys who have multiple years. So hopefully you can work to retain. So, man, this portal class is awesome so far. And the reality is it's going to be the number one portal. It is the number one portal class. It's going to be the number one portal class when it's all said and done. And you're not done yet. You're probably going to add 3 more players still, which, by the way, Zach, breaking news, Pete Nakos just reported number one that Caden Durham officially has withdrawn from the transfer portal. So he's definitely back. LSU made that official as well. Another bit of breaking news, if you will, Lane Kiffin has put out the bat signal, if you will, a few minutes ago. He dropped a tiger emoji like Jay Johnson infamously does,
another one
when he lands one. And so it feels like, Lane Kiffin has probably reeled in another fish. So maybe some more portal news here soon as we're talking about this portal class. Overall, Zach, this is an amazing portal class. I think if you add a couple more pieces on the offensive line, man, you could really go, this is a team that could seriously compete in the playoffs in the first year. And I think that's the expectation. So, Zach, I want to say, I know we need to get to these other segments, and I know we're not going to spend as much time, but I don't want to overdo it a little bit, and lose our time with the other segments. But a couple things to wrap this up. Number one, on the defensive side of the ball, I wanted to say one thing, maybe one more person to look for on the defensive side of ball. And again, if they land him, it would just be unbelievable. Damon Wilson, the edge player transferring out of Missouri, had Zach had 9 sacks this year. 9 sacks this year.
Yeah.
He has only taken a visit to LSU. Now, it is a dead period. He may take more visits. There's definitely more interest.
It's a good thing there's a dead period right now. That he
It
can't
is a good thing. But LSU is the only visit he's taken so far, and if you can land him, it's just a bonus. I mean, Damon Wilson would be an immediate starter on this defense. But Zach, really, I don't know. I don't know if they are looking to add because, man, when you look at the edge room, you've added Jaylen Brown, you've added Jordan Ross, you've added the guy from South Alabama, drawing a blank on his name, it's like A.G. Williams or something like that.
You got Gabriel Relaford back.
That's exactly what I was about to say. You're going to have Gabe Relaford back. And then also you have Lamar Brown, who's coming in as well, who I think is going to be an immediate impact player. Lamar Brown.
You're stacked on defense again this year.
You know, if you add Damon Wilson, holy moly, the defensive edges is a nightmare room. Zach, last thing on the portal, just to wrap it up. I mean, we gotta mention Sam Leavitt, and that whole situation was just bizarre. It looked like you were going to land Sam Leavitt. I mean, obviously they visited Sorsby. I think everyone knew that Sorsby was going to Texas Tech. His girlfriend had signed a volleyball NIL deal up there at Texas Tech. It felt like a foregone conclusion. He'd already taken a visit there. You know, all those things. It felt like Sorsby was going to Texas Tech even when he came to LSU. So Sorsby, yeah. Well, then you get in the mix for Sam Leavitt, and you're going, okay, this was the guy that everybody was kind of mentioning in regards to LSU is Sam Leavitt. And he's there. And obviously this Liz Frank injury, and I want to mention this for a reason because I think it's important for the future. Liz Frank injury, I think, concerned them. Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin have had their eye on DeMond Williams for a long time up at Washington. He was, in Arizona. They recruited him heavily. Was committed to Ole Miss at one time when Lane Kiffin was there. Ultimately, he chooses Arizona, his home state. Before he even plays a snap there, Jedd Fisch goes to Washington, and he transfers to Washington before he even plays it down there. So he's been there for 2 years. I think some agents were shopping him. I think some teams were interested in giving his agent offers, and he took a shot after he'd already signed a deal with Washington. That went south. Very public, very ugly, slandering, tampering, allegations, all the things, And so he goes, you know what? I'm going to go back. So, and also it would cost any school that wants him, it would cost them $4 million plus whatever they're going to pay him. So probably like $10 million total. So that goes to, LSU kind of got a wandering eye for him, and Leavitt leaves. And the visit doesn't seem to end very well because it seemed like he wanted to commit, but LSU pulled the rug at the very end of his visit. And so you were thinking, man, we're in a really rough situation when DeMond Williams pulled his name from the portal. But wow. I mean, Zach, we can't go without mentioning this. Lane Kiffin literally gets on a plane, goes to Knoxville, and intercepts Sam Leavitt before he goes to Miami. And what a move, Zach. I mean, with this, I want everybody to hear, like, I don't think we quite understand what a massive deal this is that he pulled this off. You let a quarterback leave because you were considering another quarterback and you were worried about his injury, Zach, ready to commit, and he leaves. And he goes to Tennessee. He goes to Miami, and you're going, okay, Joey Aguilar, you don't know if he's going to get another year. Carson Beck is definitely gone. And now he's going to Miami, and they can make the pitch. Hey, Cam Ward was just the number 1 pick in the draft. He was a transfer quarterback here at Miami. Hey, by the way, Carson Beck is a 1-year quarterback, and he's here, and we're playing for the national championship.
Yeah.
And that's their pitch. Like, that's the pitch they can make to Sam Levitt. It's a very good pitch, and you're thinking, we're cooked. And Miami's going to pay. Miami would pay.
Oh, yeah.
So how in the world it seriously blows my mind. How in the world did we get him away from Miami? I don't know. Because we let him walk. We let him leave when he was ready to commit. And we somehow reeled him back in after he went to Miami, who was ready to pay, ready to get a quarterback, needs a quarterback, and they're playing in the national championship on Monday. How in the world did we pull that off? I don't know. Yes, it's money, but Miami would have paid him money, Zach. I'm like, because there's reports, Zach, there are reports out there. There are reports out there that Miami was willing to pay Ty Simpson $6.5 million.
True.
So this is an incredible pull. I mean, this is an incredible pull to get him away from Miami.
And you're paying him what, 5.5?
Yes. So that's where I wanted to go with this, to kind of wrap everything up with the transfer portal on a bow, talking about Sam Levitt. Contract details are starting to come out. Obviously, the deal's signed. I think you had to pay more than what you initially would have paid for Sam Levitt because you let him walk. Makes sense. Like, you're gonna look away from me and think about somebody else, and you want me to come back, you better pay up. And they did, $5.5 million. However, I think it's extremely important to note that it supposedly, I'm not, I don't know for certain on this. I haven't looked at the contract or anything. But some very reputable people are saying that if the Liz Frank injury were to hold Sam Levitt out and he could not play, that amount would be lessened. That amount would be lessened. He would not get the full $5 million. However, if he plays the whole season, he stays healthy, he's going to get all of that. So I think that's important to note. LSU, regardless, gets their quarterback, and in incredible fashion, they pull off the improbable. So hat tip to Lane Kiffin, the number 1 portal quarterback, number 1 portal class, and more to come. So it's an exciting time to be an LSU Tiger. And by the way, whoever said hotty toddy, the Cinderella run is over. It's over. And LSU fans are happy about that. So the sooner it ended, the better for LSU.
We're glad you're here, Brandon. We're glad you're here.
Yes, we are glad you're here.
All love, but we got it.
I was about to say that anyways, and then I saw the hotty totty comment. It just so happened. Welcome in, Brandon. All right, Zach, real quick. We can't spend too much time because I know we're going to want to spend a little bit more time on this last thing, the outfield. With baseball. Quickly, I'll talk about the men's because the women's are way more interesting. I'll let you wrap it up, and then we'll take a break.
Let's take a break, and then we can come.
Okay. All right, let's hit the quick break real quick. We'll come back. We'll hit you with hoops right after this. 5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem. And at Twitter, at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Stop by to try Fulton's newest drive-through coffee shop, The Well Coffee Co. for all of your coffee needs. Iced, hot, blended, however you like your coffee, we got it. You don't like coffee? Try one of our Red Bull infusions. Maybe you want something else? Try a smoothie of different flavors as well. We'd love to see you at The Well Coffee Co. Monday through Friday right now, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Well Coffee Co., John 4:14. Right back at it here in the Tigers Avenue show. Very, very quickly, hoops update on the men's. It's not good. The end. No, it's
Well, there's a little asterisk there. There's a little asterisk there, but go ahead.
There's a very tiny asterisk.
Uh,
You
I
know,
don't know about that, Reagan. I don't know about that.
I
I think it's a wait and see.
it's. I mean, obviously, it's not started how they wanted to in conference play. It was really exactly what LSU fans have been concerned about. However, they lost. They've lost to Texas A&M. They've lost to South Carolina. They lost
Vanderbilt
to Vanderbilt
and
in a very close game. They've gotten two massive blowouts in the first half and have worked their way back in both games to make it closer. However, they've fallen short all three conference games. However, your top scorer and obviously assist leader, point guard in DJ Thomas has been hurt and is out. And guess what? He's doubtful for the Kentucky game tomorrow night.
Yeah, injuries have played the past couple of years.
Zach, this is why I say tiny asterisk. You cannot have a team rely so heavily on one player that they falter offensively when he is gone.
But
whenever LSU has DJ,
But they do. And so what does it look like when he's playing?
They do much better when he's playing. I think it will be better when he's playing. But you can't just count on one player to be there. And I think they rely a little bit too heavily on DJ Thomas, and it's been showing. You've had to have guys like Nwoku and McKinnon really pick up slack and try and carry this team. I would say the one positive, Zach, lately is Mozzie Mosley. The freshman has gotten some playing time, and he looks to be like a very promising prospect. But we saw that last year, with Victorious Miller, and he's playing for Oklahoma State now. So just typical LSU men's basketball right now. Let's hope, obviously, DJ Thomas gets healthy very soon, and maybe the Tigers can right this ship. Right now, it's not so great. Zach, women's basketball is doing much better, though. Much more exciting.
Well, it didn't start that way, right?
Certainly.
Started off the season 16-0. Then you lose an absolute heartbreaker at home against Kentucky on a buzzer beater. Yep. Well, pretty much a buzzer beater.
Might as well be, yeah.
Then you go on the road against a very good Vanderbilt team that's undefeated, and you lose another close game. And the biggest issue that the girls struggled with in those first two games was rebound, and taking care of the ball.
Yep.
And so a lot of nerves heading into the Texas game that LSU would start conference 0-3 because I don't know if you know, Reagan, but Texas got Oldacre and they've got Madison Booker.
Yeah.
And they're really good.
They're really
good. They can rebound, and it seems like every time Oldacre gets the ball in the paint, the ball is going in. And it seems like every time Madison Booker puts up a shot, it's going in. So, and they shined. Oldacre had 16. Madison Booker had 24. They were phenomenal. But, Reagan, here's the difference. You got Michaela Williams.
Yep.
And Michaela Williams is arguably the best shooter in women's college basketball.
Yep.
She is a straight shooter. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. She went off in the Texas game. And, Malaysia didn't have a great shooting game. Flage didn't have a great shooting game. Flage was like 4 of 14 from the field. Malaysia was 3 of 13. They both had 10 points. But Michaela Williams stole the show. And you knew her freshman year that by the time that she got to be a junior senior, that she was going to be arguably the best player on the team. And I still think to this day that Michaela Williams is the best player on this team. Malaysia Fulwell is great. Flau'jae Johnson is great. Michaela Williams is the best player on the team. She just is. When she's on the court, you feel like you're going to be able to put up points. It's really Reagan. She can shoot from anywhere on the floor. It does not matter. Her pull up game, the 3-point drive in the lane, all those things. She's really good at, man. And how good has she been on those dead gum inbound plays? I mean, incredible. When LSU is taking the ball out from underneath the goal, like it's going to Michaela Williams, right? Like
it's going in.
They're setting a screen for her, and she's going to come around the corner and catch and pop. It goes in like every time. So yeah, she went off. She played 38 minutes out of the 40 in the game. Some other really key contributors, Reagan. I think Jada Rayshard's had a pretty good year running the point. She's had a really good year. She had 10, and she's just been so good from the free throw line, Reagan. 6 for 6. She was nails there at the end of the game, and a huge listen. I know that Kim said, confidence was never lost. And I understand that. I understand exactly what she's saying. I'm not disagreeing with her, but this game is definitely a confidence builder. After starting 0-2 against two teams that you really felt that you were better than and that you should have beat, to have that letdown and then to be able to win this game against the number 2 team in the nation. Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. And they got another big one coming up, Reagan. They've got to travel on the road now to a really, really good Oklahoma team. And Oklahoma played you close last year. This year you're on the road this upcoming Sunday at 2 p.m. against Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's good. That's gonna be two teams that are really close with each other as far as matchup. And so you really need to get this one. They were talking.
Buddy from Texas needs to chill out, is what you're telling me. Old head coach from Texas needs to quit crying about the schedule.
Yeah, he does. But anyways,
South Carolina, and we got LSU, and I'm like, and we got Texas, and then we turn around and play Oklahoma.
Oh yeah. By the way, we played 4 ranked teams in a row. Take away Georgia. You played 4 ranked teams out of the first 5 games in the SEC. You played ranked Kentucky, ranked Vanderbilt, unranked Georgia, number 2 Texas, and now you're traveling to number 13 Oklahoma. Hey, buddy, you're in the SEC.
Like, what are we talking about?
Like, get used to it. Yeah, that was.
He
crazy.
Should be used to it at this point. That's what's so dumb.
He should be. I don't know. Anyways,
what are we talking about?
To cry about that after your team lost, like,
whatever. Big win though. Hey, big win.
Big win for the Tigers. And what I believe is a confidence builder. What'd you say?
We were like 0 for 17 against top 2 teams all time.
Yeah, something like that.
That was huge.
Yeah,
that was huge.
It was massive. So, and a huge crowd. You had a lot. You had some guys visiting as far as football is concerned. You had Longstreet visiting, and to have him there for that was awesome. So yeah, the girls need to get better at not turning the ball over. They need to get better at rebounding. I think inserting Grace Knox into the lineup has helped. Kate Caldwell has really struggled. Isn't it crazy, Reagan, that you've barely seen Kaylin Gilbert?
It is crazy.
Was massive for you last year.
You've just had you've had young players really contribute. I mean, Zakiya Johnson and Grace.
Zakiya Johnson's been extremely impressive.
Bella Hines is going to be great. Bella Hines isn't going to contribute a bunch this year, but she's going to be stinking good. She's going to be really.
She's going to give you some minutes, and she did give you 3 minutes in this game. But yeah, Reagan, I just think that was a massive win for LSU, and I think it's a big confidence builder because, after losing after losing those first 2 games, you start to wonder, okay, what's our ceiling for this year, right? And I know that for the girls, that's not really a question, but for the fans, it is, right? You start to wonder, okay, what's our ceiling this year? If we can't beat Kentucky and we can't beat, Vanderbilt, like those are 2 teams, like in the past few years, like you're like, oh, we're beating them, like we're good. The past 3 years, you've just ran through those teams, and so to lose those first 2 games, it's like, okay, well, maybe the team's just not as good as the past few years, past couple of years. But to be able to win that game, right? You can compete with anybody. You can compete with anybody. You can beat anybody, especially with a team like Texas, the Texas Longhorns. Because I'm going to be honest, Reagan, right here, right now.
Yep.
I know LSU fans are not going to hear this, and dear Lord, I hope Kim Mulkey doesn't hear it because I'll get roasted. Texas is the Texas team. They're a better roster. They've got a better team overall. And I think it was big for you to be able to beat them. I mean, they're scary good, Reagan.
Yeah.
I mean, they just are.
They are.
Having Madison Booker and Oldacre down low, and they got Jordan Lee as well. So I mean, they got really good players. And I think overall they're just a more talented team than you. So to be able to compete with them and beat them, it was on your home floor. How does that look? If you're at their place, I don't know. You probably don't win that game, but to be able to get them on your floor was, I think, massive. So yeah, big game coming up against Oklahoma this Sunday, and then you start to get a little bit of a breather. After that, you'll have Texas A&M, Florida, Arkansas, teams that have kind of struggled this year so far. Texas A&M's 8-5. They're 1-3 in SEC play. Florida hasn't been great this year. They're 0-4 in SEC play, 12-7 overall. They haven't won a game in the SEC yet. So Arkansas hasn't been great either. They're 0-4 in the SEC as well. So it lightens up. So if you can get this win against Oklahoma this Sunday, you're 3-2, and then you've got 4 very winnable games. And on top of that, 3 very winnable games after Oklahoma. So, then you can get to 6-2, right? And then, you do have to play Bama. You get them at home. Then you go back to Texas. That's going to be tough. Again, how will that look? Auburn, you host South Carolina, 2 Ole Miss, Missouri, Tennessee State. So, it's going to be a battle, Reagan. You got to be able to go 4-0, I think, in these next 4 games, because as I mentioned earlier, I think I was getting into it earlier, but I didn't specifically say it. Look, in the latest bracketology, they were saying basically that LSU needs to win the Texas game and the Oklahoma game this early to still be looking at making the NCAA tournament, which is crazy to say, right? And I know a lot of us are going to be like, it doesn't matter right now. And you're probably right. But, all those people, they do all the math and all the bracketology and all that kind of stuff. So LSU desperately needed to win this game. They need to win the next 4 before it starts getting scary again.
No doubt. Well, as crazy as it seems, it's baseball time. I mean, we're literally about a month away. The defending national champion. That's crazy, Zach. I mean, can I just say something? Like, I
feel like we just won the
never expected LSU to win the national championship last year.
No, I don't think anybody
did not expect them. And
I don't think anybody. I don't think LSU fans were. There's probably some LSU fans were like, we're gonna win it, whatever. But like realistically,
you just and that's just a tip of a cap to Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson is a freak of nature, dude. He is so good. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. This team's better. This team is better. I mean, this pitching staff is so stinking deep.
They are so deep. Now the question is, do you have an Anderson and Eisen? So I'll say, Reagan, I'll put pause on saying they're better because Reagan, last year you had Anderson and Eisen. They were 1-3 in the country. 1-3 in the country, right, as pitchers, right? You had Anderson. Yeah, and strikeouts. You had Anderson, Doyle, and then Ianson, right?
Right.
They were 1-3, right? Are you going to have another one of those guys? Maybe.
Jason Evans?
Casey Evans? Yeah. Who else steps up and does that? I don't know. Now, look, I'm not saying that that's not going to happen, but I'm saying you got to let it unfold. So I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit and say, let's wait and see, right? Because hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Sure.
I mean, we'll wait and see. Do you have two guys that are going to be like Anderson and Ianson and be top 5 in the nation in strikeouts?
Yeah.
Because Reagan, how rare is it that? And I was listening to Musso at the box the other day, and credit Matthew Musso. If you haven't, go listen to his podcast, Musso at the Box. He released his first episode of the year already. And he talked about this. Anderson and Ianson are, to have them last year, it's a little bit of an outlier, right? Because they were your guys. They were your 1-2 guys to start the year, and it never phased. It never changed. They were your 1-2 guys the entire season. And for that to be the case is rare. Yeah. It's rare, right? You think about the 2023 season, how great that season was. Ty Flo was not your number 2 the whole season. He was not. He emerged late. He emerged late in the season and became a really good number 2 for you. So I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit and wait to see on the pitch stat. Now, offensively, right? And we're gonna talk about outfield. Offensively, yeah, I think you're there. You got Milam back. You've got better bats. You've got better bats in the infield, right? At the third base position and at the second base position, right? You've got a comparable bat to Jared Jones and Zach York. You've got a bigger bat at catcher. And you got Derek Curiel back. You got your outfield's back. So let's get to it, Reagan.
You think that Luis Hernandez, he was the catcher last year. I'm totally drawing a blank.
Kate Aaron Beatty?
Yes, Aaron Beatty. You think Aaron Beatty's going to have a bigger bat than Luis?
Yeah, I think Aaron Beatty's a better bat than Luis. Yeah, I do.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I think he certainly can be.
He's a big bat.
We saw the pop.
Yeah.
But I mean, Luis had a great year last year.
Luis did have a great year.
But
Aaron Beatty's got a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I agree. So as crazy as it sounds, you are incredibly deep where you need to be deep at. One of the positions you're not deep at, probably the least depth, is outfield. Now, you have probably the best outfield in the country when it comes to your 3 starters. I mean, Zach, we started with outfield because it is absolutely the easiest position to cover.
Yeah. Chris Stanfield's going to be in left, Derek Curl's going to be in center, and Jake Brown's going to be in right.
Period.
And nobody's going to take their spots unless it's a blowout.
Unless there's an injury. Or a blow. It's like, that's it. It's the best outfield probably in the nation. The speed, the ability to track balls. I mean, it's
experience.
The bats. I mean, golly, the consistency of their bats in the outfield. I mean, obviously, there's not a lot of power. I think Jake Brown's probably your biggest power bat in the outfield. Maybe Curiel takes another step in that direction this year, maybe a little bit more pop, but I think Jake Brown's got the best pop. But the consistency of hitting between all 3 of them is awesome. I mean, it is going to be an absolutely elite outfield. I'm very excited about
very much
watching them play this year. Very easy to cover. But, Zach, however, I mean, you only got 3 guys behind them. 2 of them are freshmen. The only other outfields on this team that are listed as outfielders, okay, I want to preface that. The only ones that are listed as outfielders, I'm sure there's some infielders that, if absolutely necessary, could go to the outfield. However, the only ones that are listed is freshman William Patrick, freshman Mason Braun, and then the next guy up probably would be junior Daniel Harden. You got
John Pearson too. John Pearson going to play outfield. He did last year.
Yeah, John Pearson can probably play your right field position if that's like I said, absolutely necessary. But I think John Pearson's looking at competing maybe for the third baseman position, maybe DH role more than an outfielder.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with that. But he has played outfield. And he played outfield for you last year.
Yeah. If you want like a power bat in the lineup, for that reason, like they would put Ethan Fry out in right field every now and then for a power bat. If they wanted to fit him in the lineup other than just DH, they would put him out there. So yeah, maybe John could get there. I just don't think you're not going to see him out there a lot. Maybe early in the season, but I like when we're in the heat of SEC play, I don't think you're seeing John Pearson out in right field very much.
No. You're gonna see the three main guys, and that's pretty much.
I mean, it's Zach. The frontline talent of this is incredible. I mean, the fact that you were able to, you knew you were going to get Curio back, you knew you were going to get Jake Brown back, and that was going to be awesome. But I mean, man, you thought Stanfield was gone, and he's back, and the frontline guys is. I mean, man, I would dare say it's one of the deepest. Well, no, not the deepest. It's the most talented outfield, 3 players across the board that we've maybe seen in our lifetime at LSU. I mean, you think of guys like Mikey Matuk and Dylan Cruz, obviously just phenomenal outfielders. Andrew Stevenson, Jacoby Jones, those guys but man, all 3 of them, golly, they're really stinking good. Zach Watson, from the 2017 team. These guys, dude, I mean, across the board, probably the most talented top 3 guys in the country. So super thrilled about that. This team's going to be really good. It's going to be a lot of fun. Will they win the championship again? That's really stinking hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. But I can tell you this team's super talented, and I'm excited to cover more of their stuff. I'm excited to cover the pitching. That's probably maybe the last thing we do. There's so much we're going to unpack there. I mean, you got Zach Cowan back and Connor Binge back, guys that I think that maybe were up and coming last year. Devin Sheeran, who didn't get to play last year, that was probably one of the biggest names in the portal you landed last year that tore his ACL. He's healthy and back. What kind of role could he play? And obviously, you talk about guys like Kason Evans, probably being your Friday night guy. Think of Will Schmidt, the transfers, Garcia from Oregon. I'm drawing a blank on the guy. Moore from Kansas.
Cooper Williams, not Cooper a transfer,
Williams, left-handed pitcher. Maybe he could get into the rotation. Maybe like a Saturday role, left-handed guy. Because, man, to think about having Cooper Williams as your Sunday guy, not Saturday, Sunday guy from the left-hand side, come on, bro. Like, this staff is so deep. It's so deep. And I can't wait to talk more about it. But we're running out of time already. So, with that being said, we're excited. Baseball's right around the corner. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Stanfield, Jake Brown, and, man, Derek Curiel. By the way, you might as well, enjoy it, Tiger fans, because this is it for Derek Curiel.
They're all gone.
I mean, certainly Stanfield's out of eligibility.
Yeah. Jake Brown might can come back.
Maybe you get Jake Brown
come back.
But Curiel is gone.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the masterpiece that will be this season for him, because it's going to be amazing. LSU baseball right around the corner. How exciting. So appreciate all you guys being in here tonight. And glad to be back. Excited about what's going on with the football program and the portal. Great class so far. I mean, not just great, the best class so far. And hopefully be wrapping up soon. Portal closes Friday. Now, that doesn't mean commitments are done after Friday. Just entering your name in the portal closes Friday, and this is it. So after Friday, you may land maybe you land. This is probably the last week, though. So by the end of this week, you should pretty much know what your roster is looking like for 2026, which is crazy to think. It's crazy to think. So Anyways, appreciate you guys being in here as always. Looking forward to next Tuesday night to discuss another position group and maybe the finalized roster for the LSU Tigers. And hopefully maybe some good news with basketball continues. Let's fingers crossed. All right, we'll see you next time here in the Tigers Avenue Show. 5 Star Hill, take us out. Peace.
Who that 5 star?